In the constant race between us and infectious diseases, really familiar and frankly terrifying name has just popped up again. Over in West Bengal, India, a new outbreak of the Nipah virus kicked off this huge chain reaction, local teams scrambling to contain it, and the rest of the world watching with alarm. So today we're going to break down this single event to really understand the anatomy of a modern outbreak, from the very first cases all the way to the global hunt for a solution. To get why this virus demands so much immediate attention, all you really need to do is look at this number. In some outbreaks, Nipah has a fatality rate as high as 75%. Yeah, that makes it one of the absolute deadliest pathogens that the World Health Organization keeps an eye on. And with stakes that high, the response has to be incredibly fast and incredibly thorough. So what are we actually dealing with here? Well, Nipah is a zoonotic virus, which is just a way of saying it jumps from animals to people. Its natural home is in fruit bats. But the real problem, the thing that makes it a top priority for global health experts, is that there's no vaccine for it and no specific drug to treat it. So right now, our only tools are supportive care and, most importantly, containment.
And that brings us right to the heart of this latest story, West Bengal, India. Now, this is a region that has seen this virus before, but every single time it comes back, it's a brand new test for their entire public health system. This didn't start as just some abstract number on a chart. It started with two people, a pair of 25-year-old nurses, a man and a woman who worked at the same hospital. And their cases immediately put a spotlight on a really scary part of these events, the huge, huge risk that our frontline healthcare workers face. And once it started, the clock was ticking, fast. The first symptoms showed up in late December. By January 11th, they were already being flagged as suspected Nipah cases. And then, just 2 days after that, the National Institute for Virology confirmed it. That kind of rapid escalation shows you exactly why you have to have an immediate, decisive response. There's just no time to waste.
So, the second that diagnosis was confirmed, the focus just completely shifted. It went from diagnosis to pure containment. And the goal was simple. You have to build a wall around this outbreak before it can possibly spread any further.
And the public health playbook was opened up immediately. Step 1, isolate the confirmed cases. You have to break that chain of transmission. Step 2, get specialized teams on the ground in the area. Step 3, ramp up surveillance, meaning you are actively looking for more cases. And then step 4, maybe the most critical step of all, begin the really hard, painstaking work of contact tracing.
And the sheer scale of this effort was just immense. In a very short amount of time, officials found and started monitoring 196 people who had come into contact with those two nurses. You can just imagine, right? Each one of those people represented a potential new branch of the outbreak, a new fire that needed to be put out.
And here's the payoff for all that rapid response. By January 27th, the update came in, all 196 of those contacts had tested negative. That was just a massive collective sigh of relief for health officials. The containment wall, at least for now, was holding.
But even with the outbreak seemingly contained there in West Bengal, the story doesn't just end. The news sent these ripples across international borders, and that prompted a really swift reaction from neighboring countries.
Which, leads to a pretty logical question. If the cases are isolated and all the contacts tested negative, why is there this international alarm? Why are other countries all of a sudden activating their own health protocols?
This is not an overreaction. It is a very calculated precaution. So, Thailand immediately started health screenings for passengers arriving from that region. Nepal did the same at its main airport and its land borders. And they're not acting because the virus is spreading, but because of its potential. When a WHO priority pathogen with a 75% fatality rate shows up, the global health community has learned you don't wait and see. You act.
If we zoom out a little, it helps explain this whole heightened state of alert. See, this response isn't just about two cases. It's about the history and the unique situation with infectious diseases in that entire region.
So, while Nipah outbreaks are pretty rare, they are a reoccurring threat in India. This is actually the 7th documented outbreak since 2001. It's the 3rd one for West Bengal and the 4th for the state of Kerala. What that painful history means is that health officials there know exactly what they're up against, and they've built a response based on some really hard-earned experience.
And listen, Nipah isn't the only concern. This part of the world is a constant hub of infectious disease activity. Just look at these surveillance charts from the region. You're seeing weekly data for things like influenza, mpox, and dengue across a bunch of different countries. The key takeaway here isn't the specific numbers, but just the constant activity, the peaks and valleys of different viruses circulating all the time. And this perpetual state of monitoring is precisely why the infrastructure is there to react to something like Nipah so quickly. The system, it has to be always on.
Okay, so we've seen the threat, we've seen the outbreak, and we've seen the containment. But the ultimate goal isn't just to get better at responding to Nipah, it's to prevent it from ever starting in the first place. And that brings us to this glimmer of hope on the horizon, the global hunt for a vaccine. This quote here from Professor Dame Sarah Gilbert, she's one of the key developers, it really just says it all. After years and years of work, we're finally seeing a major step forward. Launching a phase 2 clinical trial, that is real, tangible progress against a virus that has, up until now, left us pretty much defenseless.
And the technology behind this vaccine is actually fascinating. So the ChAdOx1 Nihog B vaccine uses the exact same platform, this viral vector platform, as the Oxford/AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine. This is just a powerful example of how investing in our preparedness for one disease can speed up our ability to fight another one. The scientists are literally building on proven tech.
And this isn't just one university's effort. It is a truly global collaboration. It's developed at Oxford, it's funded by CIPE, it's being trialed in Bangladesh, a country that sees regular Nipah outbreaks, and it's being manufactured by the Serum Institute of India. This is what the modern model for tackling global health threats looks like: international partnership, from the lab all the way to the production line.
So, the outbreak in West Bengal shows us that rapid, coordinated public health measures can contain a deadly virus. And the global vaccine effort shows us the long-term path to actually preventing it. But when you put them together, they pose this really critical question for all of our futures. Can our science and our systems really stay one step ahead of nature's deadliest threats?